Guys, before I start this video, let me ask you one question. If somebody asks you what is the time your ship was in a particular port, how do you calculate this time? From which time to which time is the duration of the vessel in port? Is it the time from end of sea passage to commencement of sea passage, or is it the time from notice of readiness tendered to pilot away? If you don't know this answer, or if you don't know such answers, stay tuned to this video, because in this video we are going to discuss 5 such confusions on board on a tanker ship for port operations which result into demurrage claims later on. Stay tuned and watch this video completely. Guys, I am your host and friend Nawaf, and you are watching Shipmate Nawaf Qazi. Yes, so guys, point number 1 is the speed. What is the speed as per the charter party? We all know that as per the charter party requirement on tanker vessels, this speed as mentioned in the charter party is always speed through water, and it is never speed through ground until and unless it is separately mentioned into the charter party. But guys, you also need to remember that some charter parties, they consider this speed, charter party speed, as speed through ground and not speed through water. Like for example, the BP charter party calculates its speed, voyage speed, as per speed over ground and not as per speed through water. So how will you come to know about this? You have to read your charter party agreement and you will come to know the voyage speed, whether it is speed through water or speed through ground. If nothing is mentioned, it has to be speed through water. I hope this is clear. Let's move on quickly to number 2. Number 2, arrival time of the vessel. If someone asks you what is your arrival time of the ship in this particular port, which timing do you give? Is it the timing for your end of sea passage? Is it the timing for your pilot on board? Is it the timing for your entering the breakwater? First line ashore? Which is this timing? So guys, the timing for arrival of a ship in port is always the notice of readiness tendered timing. Clear? So whenever your ship comes to the port and tenders the notice of readiness, that is the time your ship has arrived at the port. She can come to the port and maybe drop anchor well before the NOR begins or the laycan begins, but when she tenders her notice of readiness, that is the official time a ship has arrived the port. Now one more very important thing I will address here is that notice of readiness always has to be after the end of sea passage. It cannot be before the end of sea passage. It can be at the time of end of sea passage but not before. So I hope I am clear. Arrival time for the ship is always notice of readiness time, and notice of readiness time is either end of sea passage timing or after the end of sea passage timing, but never before that. Let us move to point number 3. Point number 3. What is the port duration of a ship in a particular port? If someone asks you this question, guys, remember one thing. Port duration for a tanker vessel is different for a load port and it is different for a discharge port. Let us see, for a load port, what is the port duration of a vessel? For load port duration of a ship is from the notice of readiness timing up to the cargo documents on board. For load port, okay? And for the discharge port, the port duration of a ship is from notice of readiness tendered until the cargo hoses off. So guys, these two timings are important. Notice of readiness, you always have the timing because you tender the notice of readiness when your ship arrives the port. But the completion timing for a load port is cargo documents on board, whereas for a discharge port it is cargo connection off, your cargo hoses off or chickson disconnected. This is the time. I hope this is clear. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Press the like button, hit on the notification so that you receive notifications for more such videos. This is a motivation for me. Once I see those likes and those subscribers, it is a motivation for me and it helps me to bring more such videos to you. If you did not like the video, guys, don't forget to hit the dislike button as well. Let us move to point number 4 now. Point number 4, guys. I have seen if somebody is asking what is the manifold pressure maximum requirement, some guys say that it is 100 psi. So guys, remember one thing, most of the charter parties have this requirement of 100 psi manifold pressure, but this is the minimum manifold pressure requirement. So 100 psi is the minimum manifold pressure requirement as per the charter party. You can go max as per the capacity or as per the limitation of your pumps or as per the limitation from the shore side. So 100 psi is not the maximum, it is the minimum guaranteed manifold pressure as per the charter party. Let us move to the last and final important point, which is the result of most of the demurrage claims, is the letter of protest. Guys, remember one thing, whether it is a load port or a discharge port, we often give letter of protest. Like there can be letter of protest for multiple reasons, like shore delays or stoppages or insufficient manifold connection, free water in the cargo tanks. So LOPs can be many. At times it happens that the terminal representative, that is the loading master, refuses to sign and stamp this letter of protest. Okay, and he says us that you can get it signed from your agent. Correct? He says that. Now remember one thing, guys, if you get the LOP signed from your agent, it is not considered as a valid document. Okay, so you don't have to get it signed from the agent. If you want it, you can get it signed from the agent, but remember that it is not a valid document if it is signed from an agent. So what you have to do in that case is you have to make a separate letter of protest for documents not signed by the terminal representative or the loading master. Correct? I hope this is clear. There is one more thing. We are issuing letter of protest for arrival timings and delays in berthing. But guys, remember one thing, don't forget to issue the letter of protest for custom clearance and free pratik granted. And one common mistake that happens is free pratik granted, normally we issue a letter of protest if the free pratik is not granted after 6 hours of arrival. Arrival timing is notice of readiness timing, which I have already explained to you. So your ship has arrived at port and ship has tendered notice of readiness, let's say, and after 6 hours or within 6 hours there is no custom clearance received, then we give a letter of protest for the custom clearance. The date on this letter of protest has to be at the time we issue the letter of protest. Okay, guys, I hope you have understood these few operational time related queries and questions, which mostly is a confusion between the junior officers, the cadets, and even aspiring or new chief officers for that matter. So I hope this is cleared in this video, and if you have any more such doubts related to timing or terms and conditions, please write down in my comments. This is your friend Nawaf, and you're watching Shipmate Nawaf Kazi. See you next time with a new video. Until then, this is your friend Nawaf. Bye bye. Jai Hind.